Elegant from every angle, my nutmeg and egg custard tart makes a sexy dessert and will definitely impress that someone special.
He's got budget meals for families, delicious new recipes. Bring your friends over, let's make it and share. It's Nicko's kitchen where satisfying meals are prepared.
So to start, place in some regular flour into a food processor. Add to that the zest of 1 lemon and some cold butter. Pulse it several times until the mix forms crumbs. Now you can do this by hand, just by pinching the butter and flour together. Just remember to work quickly because you want the butter to stay as cold as possible. Next, add in the caster sugar or superfine sugar, egg yolks, and a pinch of salt, and again pulse it until it forms a soft dough. And then lay out some cling film on the bench, place the dough in the center, and wrap it nice and tight. Now it needs to go into the fridge to chill for at least 2 hours, and this is going to give us that buttery pastry that we're after. Take it out of the fridge and unwrap it. Dust the surface with some flour and then roll out to roughly 2 millimeters thick. Rub butter into the tart tin, which helps develop a nice crust, but it also stops it from sticking. And then roll over your pastry and let gravity do the work, gently tucking in the sides and edges. Don't worry about the overhang, the pastry will shrink and we can cut the edges off when it's finished cooking. Prick the base with a fork, and this stops the steam from rising up. And then place down some baking paper along with some pie weights. If you don't have pie weights, that's fine. Rice or dried beans will do. So now we're going to start to blind bake it in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit for about 8 to 10 minutes, or until the tart shell has just started to turn golden brown, and then bring it out and leave it to cool. While it's cooling, let's get started on the egg custard. Over a medium heat, pour in some heavy cream, bring it to the boil. While the cream is coming to the boil, in a separate bowl, place in your separated egg yolks. You don't want the whites. And add the caster sugar or superfine sugar and whisk until pale and creamy. Now add a small amount of the boiled cream into the yolks and whisk quickly. This tempers the yolks with the cream and will stop the eggs from scrambling, which is what will happen if you place the cream in all at once. So slowly incorporate the cream, then strain it through a sieve into a jug. Straining it is like having an insurance policy. It just catches any lumpy eggs that might have scrambled, which keeps our custard silky smooth. Now pour it into the tart shell and then grate over some fresh nutmeg. Freshly grated nutmeg is so much more flavorful, but if you can't get your hands on it, then pre-grated nutmeg out of a jar is fine. Don't be stingy on the nutmeg either. It may look like a lot, but it's not really. Also, just egg wash the sides of the pastry. This will help it get a deeper color and flavor while protecting the sides from burning. Place the tart back into the oven, but this time at a lower preheated temperature, 130 degrees Celsius or 265 Fahrenheit for 50 minutes, or until the custard is set, but it should have a slight wobble to it. Remove from the oven, allow to cool, and then keep it in the fridge for an hour just to firm up again before cutting it. And then when you slice into it, it's buttery smooth with the sexiest of wobbles. It is so elegant in its simplicity, yet packed full of flavor that will satisfy any dessert lover.